So excited. This is a new angle that I didn't unlock. If you guys want me to be quite honest, you're on one of those spritz of hand sanitizers. You're also on the box where the microphone comes up, and you're being held by two those like long white rubber bands. Like that's what you guys are being held on. Like if when I get home, I'll take a picture of it with my tablet so you guys can see, because this is innovations to the finest, because I've seen so many people do videos of on TikTok like purchase this car mount so you can do your little social media. But the thing is that I've purchased two car mounts. One of them is from Amazon and I returned it. It had good reviews, but the thing is that I didn't want one with adhesive. I wanted the one with the suction. And then so I returned that one from Amazon, and then I got the one at Walmart that is just a suction where you just like pull a lever and it sucks on whatever surface. But you guys literally, wherever I place you, whether it be on my goddamn windshield or on the dashboard, you guys would be bouncing like if you guys were at the freaking club, and I didn't want that. So, and I'm guessing right now you guys are doing the same thing. Like I see my phone moving back and forth, so probably this is gonna be a bumpy ride. I need you guys to let me know what car mount to purchase so that I can like still continue doing these driveway diaries. Like I love doing these. Anyways, hi bestie, hi bestie for lifers. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mariana. If you're new, and if you're not new, like I said, we've been besties since whatever episode I've been posting. So I hope you're doing well. I hope you're out of work, out of school, out of wherever you're at. Like I hope you're at home already getting undressed into comfortable clothes, no more bras, probably change of whatever, and you're just like enjoying yourself being at home, whether you're a teenager, a pre-adult, an adult, whatever you are. Like welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel and to these driveway diaries. I've unlocked a new position for you guys, which to me looks nice. I just need to get a car mount that will keep you guys in place so that I don't have to worry that my rubber bands are gonna pop in my face and then you guys are gonna fall down. I don't want that. I had recorded this. I always have so many technical difficulties. It sucks ass. But I had recorded this yesterday on the way home because I also had to do a little recording of the YouTube that I just uploaded, which is somewhere over here. Editor, which is me, but you know, it's gonna be right here. I was doing that. Honestly, it's kind of weird doing stuff like that out of my comfort zone with like vlogs, just because I'm not really used to vlogging in front of people, and it's like I don't even know my angles, and then holding my phone and then the microphone, and it's just like I just get awkward and weird, and I don't fucks with that. Like I like being comfortable, but the only place I'm comfortable is in my own home with my two cats and my boyfriend. So yeah, so I have a miniature story time from when I was in high school. And then I have another story time of my toxic work situation at a warehouse, which if you have watched my two previous videos, I talked about toxicity at workplaces. And then I'm gonna double down and talk about my daddy issues. Well, besides me having daddy issues, the whole absence of being fatherless. So let's just get into it. I'm probably gonna sound cliche and corny, but grab your drinks, grab whatever, listen to me yapping, whether it be the background or you driving or you getting ready for whatever you're doing. Like just enjoy the vibes and the story times. So with story number one, I was a freshman, so between the ages of 14 and 15. So around my freshman year, there was like this whole, not discussion, but it was more of like, what's the word? It was more of like gossip. There was so much gossip between this whole situation that happened. And the reason why I kind of know here and there about it, just because one, it was a girl that was in my grade. I had a class with her, and then I knew the person involved sibling who was also in a class with me. So it's like I was kind of in like the range, but I wasn't involved. Like I was in the inner circle of gossip. Do I know the full story behind it? No, I just know like I guess the surface layer of it. So this girl, she's a freshman. Everybody knew that she was going out with the senior, and this senior literally was about to graduate in like a couple of months. I think it was like 2 or 3 months left. I'm not really sure, but he was literally like close to graduating. And we knew of said senior because, he was very academic. He had all good grades. I think he was in band. I don't recall if he was in any kind of sports, but like he was well known. Like he was very well known academically. And so since he was well known academically, you would know his siblings. So that whole thing happened. Everybody knew that they were together, and there was this one time where this incident kind of went overboard because during my lunch, if I recall correctly, you just see cops coming inside our school. And I wasn't aware that I had a lunch with this senior, and you literally see them get the senior, put him in cuffs, and you see the cops not dragging him, but literally pushing him down in the middle of the aisle that we had at the lunchroom. So we just see him in cuffs, and the next thing you know, we see the freshman crying. And in my head, I really didn't pay that much mind because I was just like, here, like, I'm just gonna eat my pizza and mind my business, and then lunch is over, we go back to our classrooms, and I will eventually, like, know what was going on. And so from there, like, I think it took me like a couple of days because I had friends that were like friends with her or acquaintances with her or whatever. And that's when I find out that the reason he got cuffed by the cops was because they were caught, both the freshman and the senior were caught. They were doing the deed in one of the areas where nobody literally goes through. Like, it's literally a stairway, but it's in a room and it's pretty empty. Like, you would only use it like if there was traffic in the main stairwell, which most of the time there was. But the thing is that sometimes if you're trying to go in, it was locked. But you can come out of it because sometimes upstairs it would be unlocked. So most of the time, like the grown-ups or whatever teacher was monitoring, they typically didn't monitor in that stairway. So they were not lucky that time because they were caught. And, I guess the teacher reported it, or whoever caught them reported it. And that's, a reason why he got cuffed. But the biggest reason why is because also she was 14 and 15 and he was already 18. So at that point, that's what, not SA, but it was more like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was like not good. So that's that's why they cuffed him. And then I think the girls, I'm not really too sure, this was like a decade ago, probably even more than a decade. I think her parents were going to sue him because he was messing around with the minor and he was already legally of age. So that had happened. The guy got suspended. I don't know. Well, no, I can't really say it by quote. I don't know if he got suspended or whatever, or if he did graduate, or I don't know what happened after that. But I just know that girl, like, she was crying for months, like, or for days. Because then eventually she stopped coming to school. But I think it's because her parents took her out and put her in a different school. So they put her in a different environment from where she was at the beginning, where she was as a freshman. So, and then the thing was that since I knew the senior's sibling, literally, like, that sibling was getting so much thrown at him because they would say, "Oh, your brother, he got caught having the doing the deed in the stairwell with a freshman. Now he's in jail. Da da da. This, like, I feel like they bullied that guy or that sibling so much because later on, I was never really close to him or friends with him, but he was pretty mean at times. But at the same time, like, it was kind of weird because the reason why he was getting bullied was because of his brother's choices. And that's how people actually remembered him. Like, the sibling was because of his senior brother's actions. And it's like, it was, in my opinion, it's sad. Because now you're living under that shadow that his sibling was living under, that shadow that his senior brother left. And it literally, like, it was kind of, at first, to me, it was shocking and it was weird. Because, like, nothing like that kind of ever happened that I'm aware of when I was in high school. The only thing I can say is that, you had your little fights, your little skirmishes, and you would have your 1 or 2 pregnancies here and there, but never to the degree where, like, something like that excessive happened. I do know that after I graduated, there was even more excessive things. Like, sadly, like, the shootings. Thankfully, I don't think it's ever happened to my high school. I do recall that there was some time in the news where this kid got caught having a firearm, but it's because one of his classmates or somebody who saw him with the firearm reported him, and I think he went to a detention center or a juvenile center. I don't know what, but it happened, I think, either this year or last year, something like that. I think that's, like, the only major thing that I can think of that happened since I've been out of high school. There was, like, other incidents, like the whole clown incidents of 2017 or 16 or 17 or whatever, where, like, the clowns were, like, pretend to, like, go and be very malicious. I think that's it. There was other things that happened after I graduated, but I can't really remember that much. I wasn't really involved in my high school after I graduated just because I was like, there's no point. And I was just like, I don't want to be one of those high schoolers or one of those graduates that never got out of their, like, high school phase. I didn't want to be in that kind of, like, little group. But it never really hit me that I had graduated just because I didn't know what I wanted to do afterwards or after high school. So, yeah. So, story time number 2. This one, I was kind of debating if I wanted to record this, just because I still work for said company, but I don't work the position that I was in for said company. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm not gonna say names. I'm just gonna say what happened to me and the atmosphere I experienced while I was there, because it's my experience. So when I finally was able to let go of my life of where I previously lived with 2 part-time jobs, I was, told, like, hey, you working these 2 jobs are not benefiting you in regards to the amount of money you get paid. So eventually, like, I was like, it's true, like, it's not really benefiting me. I'm not earning that much money. It's time to apply to this company's location and see what kind of job I would get. And the thing was that it wouldn't be my first time that I applied there, just because when I was told about, you're not earning that much money to be commuting this much, I had already applied, but I had the concept of, I'm going to college, like, I need to make time to go to college. And they were like, well, I'm sorry, but you can't do that. Like, it's either you work full time here or you don't get the job. Legitimately, that's what the manager at that time told me. And I was like, you know what? Thank you, but I don't want this. So I left. So then the second time I was going to go apply in the office or in the lobby area, but security had told me, like, hey, we do have jobs here at the plant that you work on the floor, whether it be packaging, boxing, or checking, or whatever position was available. But there's also a position that's available in the warehouse. And in this one, it's more of a desk job, but you do have to walk around and check product at said warehouse. And I was just here like, oh, okay. Because my thing was that I didn't want to have a job where I'm just sitting at a desk for whatever hours my shift is. Like, that was my biggest thing I didn't want. And at the end of the day, that's where I am currently. But at that time, I didn't want that. I wanted to be able to get up, walk around, be at least some kind of being able to be physical in some kind of aspect. So from there, he told me to go here. I went over there. I talked to the warehouse manager at the time, and he was just telling me like, hey, like, it's basically, they told me it was simple. All you just have to do is count, receive, order product, and fix any mistakes that are in the system. And I was like, oh, that seems pretty easy, because they were like, do you know Excel? Do you know this? Do you know that? And I said yes to all three, but the only thing I said no was to the system that they used. I was like, I've never worked for a company that uses said system. Like, I've never worked for any company with any kind of system. And he was like, oh, okay, so that's like the only thing that you don't know. And I'm like, no, like, I don't know. And that's when, like, that's fine. We'll just give you some type of training / orientation on how to use said system. I was like, okay, Gucci, whatever. I go back to where security is in the plant location, and I fill out my paperwork. I fill out any kind of information. They ask me for ID, birth certificate, bank information, and what else? They had asked me for something else, but I don't really recall. And then I got the job. I went to orientation. They were basically teaching me the basics of what to expect, what to wear, and how to handle myself at the warehouse. But they were teaching me this orientation as if I was working in the plant. So the only thing was that at the plant, I wouldn't be wearing hairnets or the uniform that they provided, because majority of them, depending on what department you work, predominantly it was khaki, and then the shirt that had the company logo. And there's in other locations where, like, either you wear all blues with the company logo. And over there at the warehouse, I had to wear, like, I guess you can say, like, ducky pants or dick pants or whatever you call them. And they provide your little shirt, and then they provided you with crew necks. And I had those for a while, but I would never really wear it just because I was like, there's no point. I would just wear my jeans, a black hoodie. I would wear my glasses, my hard hat, and my toe steel shoes. That's all I wore. Like, I was always in proper dress wear, like nothing to be tangled. It was just it wasn't form fitting, but it wasn't too loose as well. So I got the job eventually. They set me with this lady who teaches me about the system, which she is predominantly the main toxicity person in this story. But right now I'm just going to give you the synopsis of how everything went. So I was with this lady for I think a week or two. She was teaching me about the system, how to create bills, how to check that everything was picked correctly in the system so it can be invoiced correctly. She also taught me which companies need to be billed their invoice at a certain date. She also taught me how to use the Excel to say what products we couldn't send, or in this case, what products were cut from loads with specific, like, numerations and the reasons to why we cut, just so it can be, like, filed as if we were to get audited. We can say, oh, didn't get this product because of reason. So she also taught me that. Then I had, at that time, she was a supervisor on the floor. Eventually she became a warehouse lead, but she was a supervisor on the floor. She knew the whole knowledge of the warehouse and the system as a whole, because she was working there, from what I recall, she used to stay since after high school. Like, she knows the system. She's been through 2 or 3 new systems for that company. Like, she knew everything backwards and forwards. And to me, I was like, you know what? Kudos to her, because she knows everything. And if anything were to happen, I can just call her or email her or whatever so that she can help me. So I thought. So she was teaching me about the counting, products, locations, and what I would have to order, what would I have to fix, what would I have to like receive and stuff like that. And the thing was that she didn't really teach me. I just went one day and she was telling me, count this. So I went to an area at the warehouse and she's like, count this. And I didn't know how to count it. I wasn't sure if she's telling me to count per case, per pallet, or like how much bags were in a certain like box or whatever. Like I just wasn't fully aware what I had to count. And she was annoyed, like, you don't know how to count. And I'm like, I don't know what you're asking me to count. She was getting really annoyed with me. And eventually, like, she taught me what I had to be taught in one day, apparently. I left and, rinse and repeat with the lady that was teaching me the system. And then eventually I was switched to another coworker who was teaching me the system because she was from a different shift and they wanted me to get the feel of the shifts. I became really good friends with the girl who taught me the second round, I guess. We became good friends. She was teaching me. And from her, I got the system faster than I did with the lady, the one that was teaching me for the first 2 weeks. And so from there, I heard so many rumors of this lady that was teaching me for the first 2 weeks. You know what? Yeah, no. Yeah, I heard so many rumors about her by my coworker best friend and from other people that I literally did not know yet. So eventually I got into my role of whatever position I had applied for, and the thing was that technically it was still not my position just because the person who was already in it was still doing my job, because it was so much stuff that was backed up that nobody could like catch up to it. And he wasn't really putting a 2-week notice. He was just being transferred from position, from working as I guess as a clerk to working on the floor as a leader or manager. I don't remember which one it was, but he was still doing the job. Eventually they take me to him and be like, hey, you're going to be shadowing him for some time just so that you can get a feel of what the work actually is. And once I'm like literally next to this guy, I literally get so intimidated because of all the numbers that are flowed into my face and all these transactions and all like these bills and dates and distributors. Like I was just so overwhelmed that I literally just wanted to quit. I was like, you know what? This isn't for me. I can't do this. I'm going to quit. But eventually it took me like 4 to 6 months to get the job down packed, just because it was so much trial and error going on. And within this trial and error, I was always getting in trouble, written up. Like, I can say I was taught, but I wasn't taught to a degree where you're supposed to be taught in that workplace. Like, I feel like it's not that just that job. I feel like any job has poor training. It really is. The only place I've never had poor training was when I used to work at Burlington Coat Factory, and when I started working at my new position at the same company that the same company that I was at the warehouse. So like that's basically the synopsis of everything. So back to the lady who taught me for 2 weeks. We're gonna call her Lorraine. So Lorraine, she's very sweet, she's very nice, she's very accommodating. But once you start over talking too much about certain situations, she will literally use that against you. That's the type of person she is. And then if you talk bad about her, she will find whatever dirt about you and literally either take you to HR, say your business through email to everybody out loud, or she will literally take you to management and report you. Like, that's the type of lady that Lorraine was. So there was a point where Lorraine and myself, we were cool. She was teaching me, she was helping me. Like, I would commit a lot of errors and she's like, no, like, it's fine, like, you're still learning. Like, she was giving me that pep talk of like, it's okay, like, it's a lot, you'll make it through, like, don't worry about it. And so there was a point where I guess I wasn't really under her anymore to teach me. I was sent to the guy that was taking his position, and from there, she stopped talking to me. Like, she stopped communicating. She stopped asking how my day was, like, how the whole job is going, and stuff like that. And I found it kind of weird because I'm the type of person to say good morning to you no matter what. I don't do that nowadays. I just don't. I don't want to talk to people at 6:30 in the morning saying good morning. Like, no. No, thank you. But she just stopped, and I'm just here like, what the hell? And that's when the rumors start spreading, or the gossip starts spreading. And this thing was that apparently she was upset at me because I was spending more time with that person that was teaching me, and that basically I was trying to take him from her. And I'm just here like, that I recall, aren't you married with kids with another man? And the thing was that I couldn't really take that into value just because I still didn't know nobody from that warehouse. Like, it was still new people. Like, the only person I could say I would trust is that my coworker friend. That's the only person I can trust at that point. But yeah, like, they were saying that she didn't like me because of that. And there was also other things that apparently she had spreaded, that the only reason they hired me is because the boss thought or had a liking to how big my thighs and my ass were. That's the only reason I was hired. And to me, I felt really harassed because I was just like, if that's the case, why won't you, like, if it's real, why won't you tell me so I can report that to HR? Like, I've never felt that harassed in my life besides that one time I worked at McDonald's. But that was more physically harassed. This one was more verbal harassment that I didn't know how to navigate. And it did get to my head. It made me feel like crap. I was crying. Because I was like, that's the only reason I got hired. But eventually, it blew over my head. And that's when there was this one occasion where I had to email Lorraine about how she had billed an invoice wrong, and that she needed to correct it to whatever date she needed to correct it. And the only reason I did that was because the guy that was teaching me, he was just like, you need to let them know when they do something wrong, because then you're gonna get them used to you always fixing their mistakes, and that's not how it's gonna go. Like, it's not gonna help you, it's gonna help them, and you're gonna feel like you're being overworked because of their mistakes. So I had emailed her. I'm like, hey, before I emailed her, I triple checked with this guy. I was like, hey, I need you to make sure that I'm doing this right, because if I send her this email and I'm wrong, I'm going to look like the fool, and then she's going to use it against me. So he was like, no, you're right. Like, you're correct. Go ahead and email her. So I emailed her. I'm like, hey, before you ship them, can you please change the date on this bill because you invoiced it on the wrong date? Can you please invoice it to this date? And I was like, thank you so much. Have a nice day. And I took a screenshot because it was under her username. Next thing you know, she sent emails about all the mistakes I've committed while she was teaching me, all the mistakes I was committing while I was already trying to work my position. And she didn't just send it to me, she sent it to the whole warehouse. Like, she tagged even the transportation system was tagged into this email, and I felt so flushed and embarrassed because I was like, why would you do that? Like, I was trying to fix an error you had created that could probably potentially harm you in some kind of aspect of your job. Like, you can be written up. And instead, she blasts me to everybody about the mistakes I made before I even fully started my position. And after that, it was always a battle between me and her about how I would always email her like, hey, you need to correct this, you need to do this, you need to do that. I'm like, hey, you didn't post this bill or whatever. And she would always fight back with me by trying to find something I committed wrong from like months ago. Like, I could tell her, hey, you did something wrong a year later or a year and a half later, and I'm already perfecting my position. And she will go to like the first month that I was hired and say, you did this wrong on this date, even though it's already been a year and a half fast forward. Like, that's how petty this female was. And there was other rumors that I heard about her, that apparently she had a fling with the guy that was teaching me, and that she had a child with him. So the thing was that I've seen this child, because she had that child in like her username picture or whatever, and that kid does not look like her other two kids, nor the father or the man that she's married to. And people are like, oh yeah, that's her fling, that's, you know, the love of her life. And that's when like things started clicking, and I was like, oh, so this is the reason why she's been acting like towards me since the beginning, because her supposedly work husband was trying to teach me, and I was occupying his whole entire time. And I was just here like, you literally are fighting over a guy that is just teaching me. He's not flirting with me. He's not doing anything. And besides, that man had his own wife and kids. Like, if I were to tell you, majority of the people that I worked either were married or like were like life partners, and they already had kids. Except for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could say at least like 5 workers, including me. We didn't have wives. We didn't have like significant others, like married or, you know, stuff like that. I was engaged at the time. At that time, I was. Not anymore. But I wasn't like trying to flirt with anybody or hook up with anybody or doing the deed with anybody. Like, that was just not my person. But literally the majority of the people in that warehouse were doing that. Like, they were doing infidelities, or they were committing infidelities with people there. And the thing was that it wasn't that many female workers. Like, it wasn't. So it's just like, I genuinely don't know why that was popping in Lorraine's head, why she was being petty. Like, it was just so weird. So at that point, like, literally nobody liked her. Everybody in that warehouse would report her because she would verbally harass the people there. I never really reported her just because I was just here like, she wasn't verbally harassing me, just because we just stopped talking to each other. And I told whatever management was around, like, if she makes mistakes, I'm not rectifying her mistakes. If she has to be written up, let her be written up, because I'm not going to correctify somebody who's stubborn and who would prefer to correctify me over things that happened months ago when I started working, and not change what she did wrong now. That could affect her by being written up now. So that was like the whole thing. And eventually, like, my boss who had hired me, he had moved up a higher position, and somebody from the receiving warehouse had applied for his position and got the job. And if you want to be quite honest, I had issues with him too. Like, he's the reason why I moved positions. But he was saying to the majority of the people while Lorraine wasn't working, that if you're not be a team player, then I can remove you from my team, whether it be placing you somewhere else or getting you fired. And to me, that sounded very threatening, even though it wasn't towards me, but it was very threatening. And I'm just here like, well, you can't get on this man's bad side, because literally he will throw you under the bus no matter what. And I'm just here like, I'm screwed. And I was screwed when I had issues with him. But that's besides the point. That's a different story time. He eventually, I think there were too many complaints with Lorraine that were being sent to HR, or he was receiving too many complaints as a whole, that he ended up going to the plant, so they say. He ended up going to the plant, and he went to HR to let them know, like, hey, you need to move her. We can't have her here. Like, she's literally toxic. She's causing harassment verbally here at this establishment. Like, nobody wants her. Like, everybody feels uncomfortable. And I don't know what else he did. He probably added more jazz and manipulation into that whole spiel he did. But they did move her. They literally removed her from working from the warehouse. They moved her to the plant, and she works in a portion, I can't really say what, but she works at the plant in the backside, and people still have issues with her. Like, literally nobody likes her. Like, I sometimes see her at my lunch break, and, you know, I'm the person, like, if I see somebody eating, I would say provecho, or enjoy your food, or I hope you enjoy your food. And I see her, I literally just look at her and I don't say shit. Because she knows I still hate her. Hate is such a strong word. She still knows I dislike her with a passion. And I know she doesn't like me. So the feeling is mutual. But yeah, that's one part of that one story while I was working at that toxic place. Like, it's gross. It was severely disgusting in my opinion. Story time number 3. This one is more about me having daddy issues. I don't know if I've shown that, but my father is not in the picture. And I'm saying this just because, one, I know for a fact he's not gonna watch this. I don't even know if he knows English. Like, he's not in my life. He never was in my life. I've reached out to talk to him. He's talked to me a little bit, but it's never to the point where he takes the effort to reach out and speak to me as his daughter. So my mom and my dad, they were fully in love. They had a very long relationship. I don't know if he had proposed to my mom or he had given my mom promise rings, but my mom has rings that my dad gave her. So, they were in a relationship. She told me it was a very loving, romantic, like, it was just the romance that she wanted, and she just enjoyed it as much. But there was this huge issue that she had told me. I don't know if it's 100% real or to the T or to the fact, but my father is Mormon and he wanted more than one wife, girlfriend, whatever. I don't know what kind of Mormonism he was. I just know that she said he was Mormon, and that she was like, well, no, it's either me or it's nothing. So eventually, I guess my dad was like, you know what, I choose you. You staying with me. They stayed together, and then my mom eventually became pregnant with me inside of her. Yeah. So that happened, the pregnancy. My dad was there. My 2 older brothers were there as well, but they're tiny. They're literally toddlers. And the thing was that there was like an issue that something had happened between my mom, my siblings, and my dad, that my dad was like, hey, I'm not going to make you choose between me, your kids, or whatever is going on in your life, but just give me the right to see my child, which is me. And my mom was just like, you know what, I'm choosing my kids. It's fine. And yes, you have the right to see your child. And the thing was that he was never there for me. He wasn't even there for my birth. The one who was there for my birth was my uncle from Colorado, but he wasn't there to see me pop out. More like he was there already because my mom says that I couldn't wait and I just popped out. Like, I had to leave that moment. Or I had to get out of her that moment. So yeah, my dad wasn't even present on my birth. Like, he's not in my birth certificate. It's just my mom. So my dad really literally wasn't even there. He was just there when I was in baking my mom's belly. So from there, like, as you're growing as a child, you start to notice like little things. And for me, I started to notice that I didn't have a dad. And the reason why I was able to figure this out is because I would see other kids my age, or my cousins or my mom's friends' kids, that they're like, my dad, papa, ¿dónde está papa? Or where's my dad, or whatever. And I would be like, I would ask my mom, like, do I have a dad? I've never seen my dad. Because to me, my father figure was my grandpa. And my grandpa loved me. Yeah, like, I was always questioning, like, does my dad not love me? Granted, I'm like 4, 5, or 6 years old, and I'm already thinking, like, my dad doesn't love me because he's not here. And at that point, like, I would ask my mom, like, hey, where's my dad? Why can't I see my dad? Do I have a dad? Did my dad leave me because he doesn't love me? Did he not want me? Like, I was asking all these bajillion questions as a child, and my mom didn't know how to respond. I do remember there was one time when I was little. It probably was like at the age of 3 or 4 or 5. I don't really remember what age. But I do remember my mom taking me to go see my dad. And at that time, my dad was working at a flower factory in Denver, Colorado. And I do remember running towards him and hugging him and asking him, like, why aren't you in my life? Keep in mind, I'm between the age of 3 to 5, and I'm already asking an adult, why aren't you in my life? Aren't you my dad? And after that, I never really heard from him. I never saw him. I never got a phone call from him. I don't even know if he helped my mom. And that I remember my mom told me that he never helped her at all. Like, he didn't help her financially, mentally, physically, whatever the aspect was, he never helped. And as I started growing up, like, I had this resentment, this hatred, that I was just here like, I don't have a dad. Literally, people would be like, and your dad? I'm like, oh, I don't have a dad. Like, I've never met my dad. I don't know. I don't know who he is. And like, it would give me so much anger, because I would see friends that their parents are together and it was such a loving marriage that I would despise, and I wouldn't want to go back to their house, because it would piss me off. Like, it literally, I was just a ball of sadness and anger towards my parents at a young age. Eventually, the thing was that I was going to turn 15, and my mom was just like, hey, we should do a road trip and go to Colorado and invite any family members that are willing to go and give them an invitation. So we do this road trip with my older brothers, my mom, myself, and my youngest sister. We go to Denver, Colorado. We visit a bunch of relatives. We stay the night. I think we stay for like a week or a weekend. And eventually I told my mom, like, I want to go see my dad. Like, I want to go visit him. Like, in my mind, I was just like, I want to go see him. I want to go invite him. I want him to know that he is invited and that I hope he is willing to go. So from there, my mom talks to one of her friends, and her friends gets information of where he is, and we get the address, a phone number, and we go to said location. So we get there. I go to the front reception. So I'm like, hi. I say my name. I'm like, I'm here to talk to da 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 person. I'm his daughter. And then the lady kind of looked baffled, like, who? Like, who are you? Are you sure? And I'm like, yes. So the lady calls my dad to the lobby, and he notices me, and he's just like, oh, he starts calling me mija. In my head, I want to tell him, like, you don't deserve to call me that. But I couldn't really say that, because I still was in the mindset of, like, he's older than you need to respect him. So I never really called him by his first name. I just automatically gave him the name Dad, which honestly I regret. I wish I would have stood my ground and told him, like, you can't call me that. And I should have called him by his first name, but I just didn't. I couldn't put myself through that kind of notion, just because I wasn't prepared already, and I thought he wasn't gonna come down to the lobby to come talk to me. So him and I were talking for a little bit. Do I recall what we talked? No, not really. I just told him, like, hey, my mom is doing a quinceañera for me. I'm giving you this invitation. I want you to come. You're not obligated to, but I would hope that you make the time to come, you know? And the thing was that I had already set my mind that it's just going to be disappointments. He's not going to go. I'm not going to also give him the privilege to do the daughter and dad dance, or walk me down the aisle to go to the pew or whatever. Like, I had already told my mom that the person who deserves that is my uncle, my other uncle, who was with me since I was literally a little kid. Like, he took care of me. He was just another father figure in my life. Just because my grandpa couldn't come over here, just because he was already old, and he didn't really withstand the long drives, because they don't like airplanes either. So I already knew that my uncle was going to have that privilege. So, I let him know. And here's the thing. It's, again, me reaching out to speak to said person. And, I was filled with disappointment. He wasn't there. It wasn't like something new. But I did have his information. I did have his phone number. He did start contributing and giving me money, which was like $300 for my birthday. But it was only when I was 15, 16, 17. Once I turned 18, he just cut contact with me, like, if he was done doing child support. And my mom never put him through child support. I don't know if it's him, but I know his wife did put my mom through hell, because she had the audacity to take my mom to court when I was a little kid and sue her or try to gain custody of me, that apparently my mom wasn't taking care of me. I wasn't being fed. I wasn't being bathed. I didn't have clothes. Basically, like, I was being passed around while she was working and doing drugs. Because my mom did work at a club, but she wasn't doing drugs. She was literally like a bottle girl. That's what she was. She was a waitress, a hostess, a bottle girl. She was basically all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, my mom won custody because she was like, I have people who have taken care of her. You can go check their places. You can come to the establishments I work and what I do. You can like literally monitor me. And my mom won the case. And the thing was that I'm aware of, that lady, or my stepmom, she couldn't have kids, so that was a reasoning why she wanted to take me. Is it true? I'm not really sure. But yeah, she took my mom to court, and my dad did nothing. That I'm aware of, he didn't do shit. And that low key pisses me off because I'm like, you have this lady who's trying to take me away from my birth mother just to be with you. But then again, you're not even there for me. You weren't even at my birth. You don't even have the decency to make a spot to come see me at my 15. You caught contact with me when I turned 18, and it's just here like, I was just so much I was just filled with so much anger and hate towards him. I had so much resentment. I also had resentment towards my mom because I would tell him, like, why couldn't you co-parent? Like, why couldn't you co-parent with my father and obligate him, or at least be like, hey, yo, I need the weekend off. You need to take care of her. Like, you have to. You're the father. But that didn't happen. Eventually, I think 2026, I think 4 or 5 years ago, I had texted my stepmother to ask her for my dad's information because I had lost the information he had given me when I went over there for a trip for Colorado. And she didn't respond to me 4 or 5 years later. And she responded to me last year, I think. And she was just like, oh, the thing was that I have Facebook, but I only use it for my aunts and uncles that are in Mexico where my mom was born. She had messaged me through Messenger on Facebook, and the thing was that I had it on mute or whatever. I had both platforms muted, and next thing you know, I'm getting a phone call from her. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, mija. Like, I'm not that into Facebook like that, but I'm so sorry for responding to you 4 years later. But here's his information. You can call him whenever you want to. And at that point, I already had given up the concept of my goddamn dad just because I was just like, I'm over this. Like, if I'm the one who's always putting effort to get some type of contact with him, then I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I've been doing this since I was a child. I don't want to do this. So she was just telling me, like, yeah, and whatever, like, he's not into Facebook. He's not really into technology, neither am I. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And I just hung up and whatever. And the thing was that I went through her profile, and dude, this lady is heavily on Facebook, literally heavily. And I'm like, all this time, and you couldn't let my dad know that I'm trying to, like, contact him? Thankfully, she didn't say anything because at the end of the day, I already moved past it. But I was just here like, this is dumb. Like, no, like, I'm not gonna contact them. Like, at this point, I've already moved on with my life. I've already come to terms that my dad is just not the father figure I would want or need in my life. Like, I just don't. I genuinely don't care about him anymore. Like, it's sad to say, but if he were to pass away, I wouldn't care. I would be like, okay, time to move on. But yeah, so, and then the thing was that my stepmom had already made a very bad impression on me, other than the fact that she was trying to take me away from my mom. But she had also, like, I can understand why she had called me to make sure, but this was before I graduated from high school. I was trying to apply for FAFSA, and I couldn't put my mother because unfortunately at the time my mom didn't have a social security number. So I had to contact my dad. I was just like, hey, like, I'm trying to apply for FAFSA so I can get scholarships to go to college, but I need a social security, and you have a social security, and this is the least thing you can do for me since you weren't there in my life. And he gave it to me graciously and fast. So I was just here like, okay, thank you. Like, not even 5 minutes later, like, I literally had not put the information in. My stepmom calls me and tells me, why do you need it? And like, if you use it, you're gonna whatever is under his name, and you're gonna also whatever is in my name. And I'm just here like, at that point, it's not the fact why she was asking, is the way she was asking that literally I was just here. I told her, I'm like, you know what? I don't need it, so don't worry. I'm not gonna use it. And she's like, no, like, you can use it, but like, don't use it for the wrong things. I'm like, I don't need it, I don't want it, like, I won't use it, don't worry, like, I'll figure out a way to go to college without his help. And that's when she proceeds to talk about how they had two stepkids, or they had two kids or whatever, that they're raising happily or whatever. And I just literally don't say anything. I'm like, well, have a nice day, and I hung up, and that's it. And then there was another instance where, since I had followed her on Facebook to get the information to speak to my dad again, I just wanted his phone number. I see that she posts, or someone tags her in a post, that literally he went and retired in Texas. Like, he moved from Colorado to Texas. He didn't say shit about it. And the only reason I find out is because one of his daughters or something, or I don't know if it was his adoptive daughter or his real daughter, I don't know what, but that the only reason that they moved over there is because she's going to attend college over there. And in my head, I'm like, are you for real? I'm your daughter. You don't even pay attention to me. You don't even have the decency to call to see if I'm okay. But you go ahead and do that to another person's child, if it wasn't biologically his. If it was, it is what it is. But I'm like, you have a daughter over here that you literally abandoned and don't want to take responsibility. Granted, he doesn't have to take responsibility about me now, because I'm at the age I am, and I don't need his help. But why couldn't you take responsibility like that when I was younger, when I needed a father figure? Because I didn't have one. I had adult male figures, but not a father figure. And like, I just had so much resentment. It made me so sad. It made me feel like, literally, like, he doesn't love me. Then why the did you do the deed with my mom and have me? Like, I was just such a bitter person. But I came to terms, and I'm just feeling, you know what? It is what it is. I don't care anymore. Like, if you are in my life, that's good. But if you're not, I genuinely do not care. Like, I think that's a reason to why I don't want to have kids. I don't want to have kids with someone, and then for them to be like, deuces, I'm not coming to the birth, and I'm not going to be there for my child. Like, if I were to, like, have kids, which I don't, but if I were to have a child and me and my significant other don't work out, I would expect my ex to at least have the decency and co-parent with me and just be there for the kid. Not for me. I don't give two shits about me. I don't care. You're gonna make your life with somebody else, which is fine, but I need you to be there for our child and be fair with our child. That's what I would want. But thankfully, I've already come to this conclusion that I don't want children. I don't want to navigate through that whole parenting and co-parenting thing, and this whole damn stupid economy going on. Like, I'm just grateful that I've come to terms with that. I've not come to terms of me being upset with my father and somewhat upset with my mom, but more with my father than with my mom. But yeah, so I think that's it. That's all the story times I have, besties. I love you guys so much. Whenever I do these videos, it just makes me feel so comfortable, because I feel like I'm talking to you guys, like if you guys were FaceTiming me. And I generally don't FaceTime people. I don't. The only time I would FaceTime somebody is my boyfriend, but because I would like to know what kind of ice cream he would want from Kroger. That's it. So, yeah. But thank you for tuning into this Driveway Diaries for today. I know it was a lot. Maybe you guys didn't understand. Maybe you guys didn't. But I do appreciate all the support you guys give me. All the support, whether it be the like, share, subscribing, and all that kind of mumbo jumbo that you need to do in order to grow. But I'm so happy that I'm growing and you guys are seeing me grow with you. Just because I am just loving this community. This community is very nice. It's very, not just open-minded, but you guys are just people that I consider to be very good friends, and that I can have confidence and I can trust you guys. Like, it genuinely does mean a lot. Especially because I have no friends. I have no in real life friends. Like, it's sad. But yeah, like, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, it means so much. I want to continue growing. I want to make this into a career if possible, so I can keep on posting to you guys, my besties for lifers. Like, thank you so much. I love you guys. And tune in to my next video sometime soon. I have a surprise for this Sunday because I'm actually going to be out of my comfort zone this time. But I love you guys so much. Please remember, follow, like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys next time.